Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the Starting 11 prediction show. It's Southampton, it's Liverpool, it's Monday night. We want to put to bed the poor results of the last two games. 2 draws, not good enough for Liverpool Football Club. I am here, as I always am now, to try and predict Jurgen Klopp's starting 11 for this one. So, we'll start, as we always do, with the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper for this one, there's no doubt in my mind that it is going to be Alisson Becker. He was needed with one big save last night against Newcastle United, and that's why he's in the side, isn't it? We know he's world class, we know he's great, and he's going to be between the sticks for us. A lad who probably needs a rest at some point. Maybe we're earmarking the game against Aston Villa in the Cup for that one. Certainly not this one. Andy Robertson, for me, Liverpool's player of the season so far. Decent performance last night. He's going to keep his place at left back regardless. And then another lad who actually should be probably considered one of Liverpool's player of the year so far because of the position that he's having to play in is Fabinho. I mean, the lad is now just a centre-back for all intents and purposes because he is playing like a senior top draw centre-half, and I'll put money on Fabinho starting this game, bar an injury over the next couple of days. And then I'm going to change it up. Obviously, Nat Phillips comes in, does all right, beaten for strength and pace one time by Callum Wilson last night. But for the most part, really great aerially, Nat Phillips. But I'm going to say that Reece Williams comes in for this game. And the reason I'm going to say that is I'm not sure who is Klopp's sort of top pick out of those two lads, out of Williams and out of Nat Phillips, but I do feel that maybe Williams is going to give us a little bit something more in the passing game. And I'm not saying that Nat Phillips was at fault last night in the passing game as such, but he doesn't look as comfortable for me as Reece Williams. And I just wonder whether Klopp will think we stand a better chance of transitioning from defence to attack with Reece Williams in there rather than Nat Phillips. And then alongside him, it's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. Not quite hit the heights that we know he's capable of this season. And I think a large part of that is down to the fact that he's playing with either a Reece Williams or a Nat Phillips and maybe a little bit of poor form as well. Say, poor form, maybe that's a bit harsh. Just not scintillating form like we've seen previously. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Jordan Henderson keeps his place at the base of a midfield three. I think probably he's going to be rested against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, so he keeps his place there. Maybe he's rested, but I don't think so. I think Gini Wijnaldum's going to play with him. Obviously, he sits out the Newcastle game for the most part anyway, comes on off the bench. So Gini will be in the midfield three. He's almost a certainty for me. And then a lad who I am absolutely dying to see more of in a Liverpool shirt after that titillating performance last night is Thiago. And I'm going to say that he goes into the middle of the park. And I'm not going to say he's going to play 90 minutes, but I think he either starts and gets 60 or he gets 30 minutes towards the end. I'm going to go the Klopp goes, get in the fucking side, son. Get in the side, break Southampton down and get Liverpool goals. And the lad is just mustard, isn't he? Absolutely the best midfielder in the world. I know this already, you know this. And ahead of him, it's the front three. It's Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino for me. It's the time of the year where actually we've missed Jota. We've understood why Jurgen signed Jota. I think, you know, the truncated season, the quick games back to back is probably playing into these lads. I'm making them sort of miss opportunities. It wasn't the defence that cost us against Newcastle. It was the strikers. We created loads and loads of good opportunities. We played really well until the final third. Be it Salah's touch early first half, kept missing the pass. Be it Roberto Firmino with that touch inside the box that you expect him to take down. A few headers that were saved by Darlow, and Mo Salah just missed 2 absolute sitters that he would normally put away. No major concerns over Salah. It's just one of those games. He's still world class. The bench then, Caoimhin Kelleher in goal. Nat Phillips, if he's not starting, will be on the bench. Nico Williams will be the right back on the bench. I think James Milner sits this one out. He's probably in line to either captain Aston Villa from left back or be on the pitch at left back to rest Andy Robertson for that Villa game. Kurt Jones, I think, not his best performance last night from Kurt, understandably so. He's played a lot of football for a young lad, a very high intensity and high level, and he just wasn't. The game kind of passed him by a little bit last night, didn't it, if we're honest? Then Oxlade-Chamberlain, who I would like to see get a starting berth actually. And maybe if Thiago's not fit and available to start, maybe it'll be Oxlade-Chamberlain in for Thiago. Shaqiri, another lad I want to see get more minutes because I know what he can do on the football field when he's fit and available. Takumi Minamino. Wouldn't surprise me if Taki started for one of the front three. You know, we saw a good performance out of him against Crystal Palace. The front three really clicked against Crystal Palace. Everything went in, didn't it, to be fair? And then finally, Divock Origi, who may be here by the time the game rolls around, or maybe leaving soon, or maybe he's just kept around. I don't know. So yeah, that's my starting 11 prediction. Don't risk Thiago in the FA Cup, says Gordon Trodim. Fully agree with you there, mate. If not for Lady Luck, we'd have won 4-0 yesterday, same fella. Completely agree. Taki can play in the advanced midfield position, not in a front three, says Sir Klopp. What's interesting is, I think we saw last night, I'm just going to bring the two lads in who played in the middle of the park last night, because it's something I wanted to talk about on the final word, but didn't, is obviously that's the centre midfield from last night against Newcastle. You got James Milner more over to that left-hand side. For me, it felt like a slight change in the midfield, and it felt a little bit more like that, and maybe even more like that, where Milner and Henderson were a pseudo two, and Kurt was supposed to play this role. Don't think it really got the best out of him. I say the game kind of passed him by. But I just wondered whether that was something that we're potentially looking to do when this lad comes into the park and starts getting regular performances for us. Because then if that's something that we're maybe moving towards, rather than the three and the rigid sort of formation that we normally play, maybe it's time for a lad like him to play that sort of advanced midfielder role, maybe your deep lying playmaker and your natural number 6, or you could even get a Shaqiri or a Minamino or a Shaqiri in there as well, and maybe we could do a little bit of damage in that. And I just wonder whether, I do think the midfield three played slightly differently to how we've seen them become accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years last night, and I just wonder whether that is in part because Thiago's going to come into this side and he's going to take the reins from an attacking point of view. So it'll be interesting to see. And then, yeah, Minamino could probably get more minutes if that's the case. And maybe Shaqiri, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But what we do know is, I'm a player down, what we do know is that Gini and Hendo generally start. And Wijnaldum's got to start this game because he's had the last one off. I would really, really love to see Thiago in this one. El Chapo said, how does Shaq not get a game? I think it's because he's not up to match fitness, to be honest with you. You know, he's had those injuries, as he's had it throughout his entire Liverpool career. Whenever he's made it onto the field, for the most part, he's been impactful. He's been a good player. I mean, think back to only a little earlier on the season, that through ball to Jota. I mean, that's brilliant. And he was in the classic number 10 position, which makes me wonder whether this is a sort of area of the field where we could get an extra attacking player. Certainly if we're playing these 6-4-0s or these 4-5-1s, maybe you do want someone who's a little bit more advanced and maybe a Genie in this role, and maybe this is the slow phasing out, and maybe, as I say, this is the type of midfield three that we're going to see, not exactly a 4-2-3-1, not exactly the 4-3-3 that we've seen, or maybe Shaqiri gets into that position, and it's a way to get Shaqiri, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Minamino into the positions that they probably want to play in this midfield as well. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. RS108 just says Minamino in for Salah. Yeah, it's a possibility. Maybe he plays on the left-hand side, maybe Mane plays on the right-hand side, but we saw Minamino, he's looked bright in his last game against Crystal Palace. Obviously gets a goal, doesn't he, for a start, and the front three played really well together, and then Salah comes off the bench, a little bit fresher, gets a couple of goals himself. So yeah, maybe Minamino starts in this game. I'm not banking on it, and the reason I'm not banking on it is because I generally err on the side of caution. I think generally Jurgen wants to play the front three lads. He likes to rotate in the midfield. And we know that he likes to play his back five over and over and over again. And, you know, right now, Reece Williams and Nat Phillips are in a fight for that position. Maybe there'll be somebody else added in the next few days who could jump in to that position straight away. Who knows? Let's hope for a big centre-back signing for Liverpool, because I think we need one. I really do. Sir Klopp says, Shaq and Thiago aren't starting games at the moment. I don't see Ox starting just yet either. Maybe in the FA Cup we'll see them start. See, for me, I get your point, Sir Klopp, and I understand it. And my reasoning is, I want him fit and available for the Manchester United game. I'm not playing him in the Villa game beforehand, so I'm going to get him his minutes here. Maybe a small cameo in the FA Cup game against Aston Villa, and then from the start against Manchester United. That's what I want to see. That's why I've gone with the Thiago thing, plus he's the best player. I think Chamber will start at basic Nova. Okay, Liverpool to try. Thiago in for sure. Genie also, DD. Yeah, I think so. There's a question mark over whether Hendo needs a rest or anything else, but maybe James Milner could start again. I don't think so. I think Milner's going to start in the Aston Villa game, as I mentioned. Giving this one off, starts him in the Villa game. Hendo gets his rest there. Hendo's fit and ready for Manchester United. So for the most part, I'm saying this is the side that goes against Manchester United. Play them in this game. Give as many lads as you can a little bit of a break in that game. Maybe Nico comes in, maybe James Milner comes in at left back. You've probably not got much other than Reece Williams and Nat Phillips potentially to play against Aston Villa. Probably Kelleher comes in, maybe you keep Alisson between the sticks, maybe you can try and rotate, so it's Shaqiri, Minamino, Divock Origi, something like that, or Ox in the front three, and yeah, this is the side that starts against Manchester United, barring a centre-back signing who's going to come in and take over the back line for us. So there you go, that has been my starting 11 prediction. Leave me yours in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, and of course today, if you're watching this on New Year's Eve, is the last day to get 25% off the Redmen TV merchandise. The link is in the description. The code is TOP in capital letters, at the symbol, and Xmas in capital letters. You'll get 25% off. You've got until 11:59 on New Year's Eve to get this one in and get 25% off. There's a belter Thiago T on there as well. Go and check that out. Or even get ready for Christmas next year when hopefully we're allowed out the house. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you for commenting. Ta-ra.